Mississauga, where you at?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, back at Babylon TO. Yes.
10 facts about fluoride and don't get shot. One lady I was talking to went to Costco's, right, and she bought like a case of water. And I talked to her and I said, well, like, you're stocking up on water? He says, yeah, I want to stock up on some of this water. I don't drink it too often, but I like to drink tap water because the fluoride is good for my teeth. And I said, and actually it's not good for your teeth. It gives you dental fluorosis and other health problems. And she said, oh, I didn't know that. So.
Yeah, stop the SPP, the Security Prosperity Partnership.
Yeah.
Now retitled, this is the old one, where it just tells you what countries are merging. This is not the official flag. The official flag for the North American Union now is all blue with 3 white stars on the top left corner to make it look like a pyramid sideways. And so I'm not sure if you have it on your phone there, but that's so Canada, US, Mexico, take a look at your new flag. That's what they're going to be waving around. Whether they change the colors or not, who knows, or the style of it, but that's roughly what they're going with right now. The Caribbean community, the Latin American community, everything is all cross-stitched, all these partnerships. So when they finally unveil what their plan is, you cannot pull it apart. You know, you got the Andean community, you got Mercosur, you got UNICER, you got the, what's it called, ALBA, you got the Pacific Alliance, you have the Caribbean community, African Union, and this is, what I'm just talking about was between Mexico and South America. There's about 5-6 different unions alone there. So you got the African Union, you got the EU is running everything basically. As EU, actually from what I've heard right now, the Vatican has now an agreement with the Arab League. It's called the Memorandum of Understanding. You cannot find this memorandum online. The reason is because it's secret. Now, if you look at the Vatican, it's the Catholic head. Arab League is the Muslim head. Perfect way to get this whole oneness, new world religion, ecumenical happening right there. See, if the EU is not involved in everything, the Vatican is. So you just look at all the strings, they go right back to the EU, everything.
Vatican's at the top.
The UN has a trade agreement with Africa and South America. What they don't tell us is that the sustainable development will affect those 2 countries. Exactly. They don't tell us that. Sustainable development basically means you have to cull off the population. More people than food. That's what they're saying. But
all behind closed doors.
And if people are saying, oh, we are overpopulation, whatever, that's baloney. Go out west, go down to Brazil, go down to South America, plenty of room for people. If you still don't believe me they're trying to kill off the population, just Google the Georgia Guidestones. That's all you have to do. Google Georgia Guidestones.
Under 500 million people.
You can pass through all those countries freely. You don't need a passport or a visitor's visa at all. That's what they're trying to get with the US, European Union, and Russia.
So that means you get diplomatic service.
Basically, so you can go in, I think it's called the Nexus card. They're working on it. That's why Putin was re-elected or reselected in office to make sure that Russia goes through with it. Because right now what they're trying to do, the old Soviet bloc, the old countries now are going to merge with Russia again. The only squabble that they're having is whether they should go with the new currency or with the ruble. So they're merging everything together. They're not telling us about it because it's for our own good.
How long did it take you to actually compile with all this information?
I'm talking about 6 months straight.
6 months straight?
About 6 months-ish. I'm not done yet. I'm nowhere near done. I must have maybe about 30 different folders of all the different unions. And mainly in Asia and in the Caribbean area, there's maybe about 10 different unions working together. The evidence is right there. Just Google this information and hold on one moment. I'll be right back. One moment.
Well, you know, Tom's got a lot of information out there about different things, and you can really learn about everything, right? So you have to have the documents with you. That way you know where to look. So that's what we're here to do today, just to let everybody know that we do not live in a country, because we've never been a country. We've been a corporation since 1867.
I compiled this little list. Okay, Google the following: UNICEF, North American Union, Central Asian Union, Polynesian Union, the ASEAN, the Oceanic Union, Arab League, Caribbean Community, South African Union, found at au.int, Latin American Integration Association, and the Oceanic Union Charter. Article 47, look for the Treaty of Lucifer. When they pull the curtain away and they reveal everything, go, what is this? How come I didn't know about it? Well, we told you about it. You just were too distracted with all your media crap.
We should actually make a documentary on all
I'm thinking about making it.
We got some flyers here of our government surveillance systems here in America, of course, as well. Here, more surveillance needed. Yeah, the Patriot Act limits or gets government to put more restrictions and laws on our liberties and stuff like this. So they needed the 9/11 attacks to happen in order to put these, implement these in place there. So here's another flyer as well I got. NSA wages war via satellite as well. It's all happening even here in Canada, where we have all these surveillance systems up here. Even after the G20, they kept up these cameras here to see what we're doing, and even possibly here on CNN.
With Obama. Obama created a laboratory.
Oh my gosh, eh? Wow. We all know Obama's a puppet for the New World Order, so that's where we get this from, this picture. Yeah, lots of surveillance.
Remember this one, the don't get shot? You take a vaccine to don't get sick. Did the vaccine really protect you? Or you just did not get sick? This was an old one, I think, from 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, it's good. From the Global Outlook special issue, part 1, identifying the invisible government and exposing their new world order. So it talks about John F. Hyland, talk about the real menace to the republic is this invisible government, which, like a giant octopus, sprawls its slimy length over the city, state, and nation. Woodrow Wilson, some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know there is power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocking, so complete, so pervasive, and they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Talks about CFR was founded in 1921 and is located in the Harold Platt House on Park Avenue in New York City. The Trilateral Commission is a private organization established to foster closer cooperation between the United States, Europe, and Japan. It was co-founded in July 1973 by David Rockefeller. He was the chairman of the Council of Foreign Relations at the time when Zygmunt Brzezinski was foreign policy advisor in 1968 for presidential hopeful Herbert Humphrey. The members include Joseph Nye Jr., Paul Volcker, Henry Kissinger, and John D. Rockefeller, and Alan Greenspan, Bill Clinton, and Jimmy Carter, representing the very elite of finance, industry, and government. So those are people are in the global governance, and they're behind closed doors doing those wheeling and dealings. And the Bilderberg Group, the Hotel de Bilderberg, also in the Netherlands.
Hopefully, at least Press for Truth's got the new documentary out.
Yeah, they do.
Look out for Press for Truth documentary on the Bilderberg Group meeting 2012.
And they also have some members of the invisible government, like Gordon Brown, former British Prime Minister. George Herbert Walker Bush, 41st President of the United States, and former Director of the CIA. And Robert Zoellick as well, the President of the World Bank. Yeah, vaccine injuries, that gives you all the information that you want about the vaccines and stuff like that, what they can do to you. Hepatitis B.
That's why this is a hardcore.
Yeah. that's what I want to give out to people, because a lot of people are just going for the shot, and you know, when you give them this flyer, their jaw just drops to the ground. You know, they can't believe it. So this here is really, really hardcore stuff nowadays. So.
Jesus Christ. I don't know about born again, but anyway, just as Christian, kind of like a God.
Sick. Hi. Toronto, let's make some energy. Make some noise.